Welcome back to episode 2, guys, and welcome back to Seth's Project. My name is Seth. In this episode, we are going to be making these leg assemblies here, and the leg assemblies are not fully done, but I can't actually finish them until I do what I wanted to do in episode 3. So basically what we're going to be doing in this episode is making the bridle joints and shaping the top rails and the feet. So that's what we're going to be doing. Also, I wanted to say that you guys reached over 100 likes on the last episode, which is amazing. So I have a link in the description on this episode and the previous episode of the SketchUp file for this desk build. So if you're interested in that, make sure to go down in the description and download it. Also, I'm going to be uploading different versions of it as I go. I'm going to be changing it a little bit. So look for the version after the little name down there, and you can see if you have the latest version. So anyway, guys, let's jump right into episode 2 and get actually building something. So let's do it. For whatever reason, I like to get stressed out in the shop. I like to feel like I don't have the time, or I don't know, I feel like I'm being rushed all the time, and that's a huge problem for me. I am really trying to just enjoy the process instead of feeling like I'm not getting anything done, and I'm hoping that that will motivate me a little more as I'm in the shop, as I'm building, to not feel like that I'm being rushed or it's just taken me a long time. That's, for some reason, when I first started, it was just about enjoying it. And then for some reason, my mind switched into, I need to do this for a living because this is what I enjoy. And that was kind of dangerous for my hobby because now I was in a mindset that said, if you don't build this stuff quickly, you're never going to be able to do it for a living. And that really kind of stuck with me, unfortunately, and that really was the downfall of my woodworking. Is I felt like I had to do it quickly, and I'm trying to train my mind to come out of that and just get in there and just do what I enjoy, and use it for more like therapy reasons than trying to get it done. So hopefully, me applying this will allow me to just really enjoy my process and get more content out for you guys as well, because I feel like some of you really enjoy it, and I really appreciate that. So I am hoping that I'm going to be building some more stuff here soon, and I really need to for my house and stuff like that. So we'll see if I can train my brain a little better. And I hope that some of you guys actually, relate to that. It's not always easy, and you're not alone if you feel like that, your hobby isn't what it was in the beginning. I feel like everybody gets to that point where, they second guess whether they even enjoy it anymore. And I think that comes from a lot of different things. In my case, it was the feeling of doubt that I won't be able to do this for a living was actually preventing me from being able to progress. And I think the most important thing in a hobby, especially like this, these projects can take me a couple months even, and sometimes the projects can become almost overwhelming because there's so many different things that you've got to do. And the important thing is to just enjoy the process and just use it as relaxing and not about work and not about forcing yourself to get out there and make progress. I would really love to see you guys follow along with this project. I know it's a little bit of an expensive project, but that's why I left the SketchUp link in the description. You guys can actually change the design. You can even make it way smaller. You can make it into a nightstand, or whatever you want to do with it. It would just be really cool if you guys did to maybe tag me so I can see it. That would be awesome. In case you guys didn't know, if you guys want to see a little bit more of behind the scenes and get a little bit more of an update in less time, you might want to follow me on Instagram. Instagram link is always in the description. Upload little stories of little updates of this build as I go. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure to follow me on Instagram. What really excites me about this project, and really the reason why I wanted to do it, will come in episode 4 and 5, because that's when I'm actually going to be doing the really interesting parts, in my opinion, which is the large dovetailed case that goes underneath the table. And I'm also going to be getting into a pretty decently large Kumiko panel that I'm going to be doing by hand, which is something that I've never done before. So hopefully that will be interesting, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that and maybe even find some inspiration. I realize now that I'm editing this video that I never actually recorded myself doing the layout for the sides of the bridle joint on the leg here. It's the same way that I did the layout with the marking gauge for the leg and the top rail for the bridle joint. It's pretty simple. I just follow the dimensions off of the SketchUp file. I don't know why I didn't record that. Also, when you're making these really deep cuts in hardwood on the table saw, unless you have a really powerful table saw, I would highly recommend that you take smaller cuts and just do more than one pass. It makes this process safer, easier on your blade and your table saw, and that's just the way that I would personally recommend doing it. Now that I have my layout for my tapers, we are now ready to cut the tapers. So I have a jig here that I use to do repeatable cuts for my tapers. So I'm going to take a second to explain it to you guys just in case you're curious. So I have a piece of wood screwed to the bottom of the sled here, and that rides in the channel in my table saw, and that allows this to run straight. Then I rip one side of this piece of MDF straight with the table saw blade. That way I know that this line right here is where it's going to cut. And this is my fence. This is where I can register every piece up against, just like this. And this is a stop block that I've just got double-sided tape under, and I set that whenever I'm setting up my cut here. So I wrap my mark all the way around, and I line that mark up with the edge of the MDF. Same thing on the back here, and that gives me my taper. And then I've got a toggle switch here where I can lock that down, and that's not going anywhere, and that makes it a whole lot safer, and I can actually stand out of the way. So that's what I'm going to do now. I've got to make 1, 2, 3, 4 of these cuts for the feet, and then I've got to do another cut this way to finish this taper, because there's going to be 2 angles for the taper. And you guys will see that in a minute. So let's go ahead and make the cut. And that is the end of episode 2. I didn't get a whole lot done, but we did get some work done. And I wanted to save episode 3 for the double tenons that are wedged. And that means that I actually have to cut the mortises before I glue together the bridle joints, and which kind of threw things off. I was going to get more work done in this episode, but I forgot that I had to cut the mortises. And I wanted to save that for episode 3. So we did get the bridle joints actually done, with not glued together, but they're done. I didn't get to do the dowels because I can't do that until I officially glue it together. So kind of a weird ending for this episode. It's not really where I wanted to end it, but I've already got started on episode 3. So hopefully that will be out in just a few weeks. I'm not going to wait a few months this time. And also, where I'm actually sitting right now is where the desk is going to go. This room is hopefully going to be what I'd like to call my studio or my editing room eventually, and that was actually kind of what inspired this build. So maybe one day on episode 7, 6, 7, we will have the desk in here. So hopefully you guys will stick with me until then, and thank you guys for watching. As always, actually, well, I should mention also that the link for the SketchUp file, I know I've said it like 3 times in this video, it is in the description, so download it. It's for free. I mean, why not? So I'll see you guys next video. Thank you for watching.